afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live at 4. We made it.
It's Friday. We can hardly complain.
We can't complain.
After what other people have been through.
A lot of people suffering in this country. Your parents are okay?
They're okay. They're in Charleston, but the hurricane luckily went a little bit north.
Yep.
And they're fine. They never lost power. Rain is stopping. Not so fortunate for the people north of them.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about the hurricane today. Ian has made landfall with hurricane force winds and storm surge flooding again. We'll show you the South Carolina coastline and the communities that are being hit hardest. Crime
is a popular topic, as you know, in this fall's big political races, but it's most fitting to talk about it with the men running for the state's top prosecutor job.
And we shine a light on a community service helping people learn English and get their GEDs. Let's take a look outside. A beautiful fall day today here in southern Wisconsin.
What a week it's been, and the weekend is going to be great too.
Finally, a nice weekend after 2 months. Gary Canalti's in the backyard smiling away.
Yeah, temperatures are going to be comfortable and no rain in the forecast. That's the good news there. Let's start out by taking a look at visible cloud track. We had plenty of sunshine as well. There are some clouds out to the west of us, but those are starting to dissipate as they push toward Wisconsin because the air is drier here. A few light sprinkles across parts of central Minnesota, but again, not looking for any rain here. Low temperatures last night, still kind of chilly. Dropped to 37 in Madison. To our southwest, temperatures are mainly in the lower 40s, but to the north, still around freezing, right around the Dells or areas to the north. Right now, temperatures range from 73 in Lone Rock to 68 in Madison, 70 degrees in Janesville. Across Dane County right now, we're seeing temperatures as warm as 70 in Verona, 68 in Sun Prairie, and 69 in Sauk City. Look for skies to be mostly clear this evening. Temperatures will drop off pretty quickly once the sun goes down to about 51 degrees by 10 p.m. As we check out first warn traffic, several things to watch on a Friday. This is the live view of the DOT camera of the Beltline at Monona Drive. You can see traffic on the eastbound side pretty heavy. There was a traffic accident near Monona Drive. Right now seeing delays on the eastbound Beltline from around Monona Drive back to around Park Street. Also to the south right now, no problems on I-3990, but there was an incident on I-94 eastbound around Highway 73. That has started to clear up in traffic. Looks like it's back to normal, but we're seeing some slowdowns on northwestbound I-90-94 right at past Portage because of an incident there, so something to keep in mind. That's your news 3 now, first warn traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you. Ian is taking another swipe at the U.S., bearing down this afternoon on the South Carolina coast.
The storm weakened after exiting Florida, but regained strength over the Atlantic and now is headed up the Carolinas.
CBS's Michael George is in Folly Beach.
Folly Beach.
Folly Beach. I asked you just a minute ago, just outside Charleston.
Ian regained hurricane status at sea, barreling back toward the U.S. Friday and slamming into South Carolina with winds of up to 90 miles per hour in some areas and storm surge coming in with the tide. Water rushed into the streets on Pawleys Island, quickly approaching the tops of street signs. And police tweeted pictures of the Pawleys Island pier, the end of it now collapsed and floating south.
Storm surge flooding will be most problematic through mid-afternoon, but could certainly linger through the evening.
South Carolina's governor urged residents to hang tight and stay inside.
I would ask people don't quit yet because it's still coming.
Access to Charleston's historic Battery area was restricted, and residents who stayed in town are hoping for the best.
It looks like it's going to be less than what's happened in Florida, but you never know.
Here on Folly Beach, south of Charleston, the hurricane is moving out of the area, but it's leaving behind heavy flooding from streets to businesses to homes. And officials are prepared for the damage that will be left behind. President Biden approved an emergency declaration for the Palmetto State and has been in regular touch with the governor.
We all know when there's a hurricane, there's no politics involved there.
Forecasters are warning of storm surge as high as 7 feet in some coastal areas and rainfall up to 8 inches. Michael George, CBS News, Folly Beach, South Carolina.
And a second pier was washed away, this one in Cherry Grove, South Carolina. We've been showing you all week how our friends and neighbors here in southern Wisconsin are stepping up to help people down south.
And today we found another example of that. Catherine Merck went to Impact Life in Madison.
Here at Impact Life in Madison, one of the easiest ways you can help Hurricane Ian victims is by donating something you already have. Your blood.
You save people's lives.
Impact Life is participating in a national response to supply blood for the region affected by Hurricane Ian. The Blood Center was asked to send a shipment of red blood cells to Florida as Hurricane Ian approached. Impact Life will need to increase donations this week and next to continue meeting local needs while also supporting the region affected by Hurricane Ian.
The storm will shut down the local blood center, so they won't be collecting blood. What they have on hand is what they have, and when that runs out, they need help from elsewhere, and that's where we come in.
Impact Life is just one of the organizations that is helping raise awareness for donating blood for Hurricane Ian victims. For other groups that are requesting donations, you can visit our website at channel3000.com. Reporting in Madison, I'm Catherine Merck with News 3 Now.
And today, the White House, President Biden laid out his steps his administration is taking to assist those impacted by Ian. The president has approved federal disaster funding for more than a dozen Florida counties, and more could be added to the list. He also issued an emergency declaration for South Carolina, which is getting hit with Ian's wrath today, as we mentioned.
We're preparing for this second front of a war with Hurricane Ian up in Charleston, South Carolina. Our Coast Guard crews are on standby, and we're ready to respond there as well.
FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell is in Florida to assist where more federal support, where more federal support is needed. The White House says more than 2,000 federal response workers are also on the ground in the Sunshine State, and in Puerto Rico, more than 200,000 homes and businesses are still without power. FEMA says more than 1,000 response workers are on the ground there to assist recovery efforts. Later in this broadcast, we'll discuss the conditions that made Hurricane Ian so strong.
A Missouri man pleaded guilty today to killing two brothers from Wisconsin after they came to his farm in 2019 to collect a debt from a cattle contract. Garland Nelson of Bramer, Missouri, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of 24-year-old Justin Diemel and 35-year-old Nicholas Diemel of Shawano County. Nelson was given 2 life sentences without parole, which will run consecutively. The brothers' father reported them missing in July of 2019 after they didn't return from a visit to Nelson's farm to collect that debt.
A man accused of disorderly conduct with a hate crime enhancer refused to participate in court today. The initial appearance for David Clash Miller was postponed after he refused to come out. Early Thursday morning, UWPD officers responded to a report at 12:30 in the morning about a suspect making threatening statements to an individual at Whitty Hall on campus. When officers arrived at the residence hall, Clash Miller ran away and was chased for several blocks before UWPD officers took him into custody. Clash Miller threatened the officers multiple times during the arrest. Well, crime is a popular topic in this fall's big political races.
But it's most fitting to talk about it with the men running for the state's top prosecutor job.
Naomi Coles did that today with both Josh Call and Eric Toney. Naomi, there was one point in particular that you wanted to clear up. What was that?
Fond du Lac County District Attorney Eric Toney has said several times Josh Call has left more than 24 DCI special agent positions vacant. He's basing that on a statement made by the DCI director at a recent conference where she said only 88 out of 113 positions were filled. A statement that Call believes is out of context. I checked. The DOJ budget as set by the legislature only allows for 87 full-time agents. Anything more is overflow hires.
The sad reality during this time, our Attorney General has defunded DCI agents at our Department of Justice by about 18%, leaving positions unfilled with only 88 out of 113 of those positions filled earlier this year. And that comes from the director of DCI, Tina Virgil, at a Badger State Sheriff Conference earlier this year.
What are the actual stats there?
Yeah, my opponent just doesn't understand how this works. Now, the number of DCI agents fluctuates over time. We hire the best investigators in the state, and many of them are later in their careers, so we have retirements. But we hire people in waves so that we can make sure that folks are getting trained at the same time.
Now, that's just a peek into the full interview airing. You can see For the Record every Sunday morning at 10:30, right after Face the Nation. That's this Sunday. On For the Record, I'll be getting both candidates on the record about the specifics of allegations in our race.
Naomi, thank you. We'll see you Sunday morning. The city of Madison is working to get your voter registration questions answered ahead of the November election. City of Madison election officers held a voter registration drive at Meadowridge Library today to get people signed up and answer questions they might have. The voter registration drive comes just before the closed registration period of October 19th, when the city will no longer accept registration by mail or online. After that, you can still register and vote at your public library beginning 2 weeks before the election. Election officials recommend checking the City of Madison's clerk page to find out which forms are acceptable to show as proof of residence prior to registration.
Try to make it as easy as we can for people to be able to vote and have that vote counted.
Election officials can also answer questions about proof of residence and registration documents at the public libraries beginning October 25th. In the meantime, election officials are urging voters to visit myvote.wi.gov to find their polling place, check sample ballots, or request absentee ballots before the closed period. The Literacy Network received a $100,000 in Good Neighbor grants from a fellow Madison nonprofit, Ascendium. Now in its 48th year, Literacy Network provides adult literacy education to learners from low-income backgrounds and their families. More than 55,000 adults in Dane County struggle with low literacy, which is shown to be closely linked with poverty. To meet the growing demand for its services, Literary Network says it will use the Good Neighbor grant funds to expand its student services department.
You help to us to change a life. The students' lives are very important because they come with a dream to here, and then you help to be success this dream.
Good Neighbor grants are funded by Ascendium, which is on a mission to make education and training beyond high school a reality for more people. Well, Wisconsin's home game against Illinois tomorrow should be interesting on a number of levels.
Yep, that's for sure. Jim Rutledge from ESPN Madison previews the game and the return of former coach Brett Bielema back at Camp Randall. We'll have that interview when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
It's Furniture and Appliance Mart's scratch-off promotion. Come in for your scratch card worth up to $5,000. Plus, buy any LG washer and get the dryer free. Plus, 60-month special financing. Plus, fast delivery at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley off the Beltline in East Springs Drive.
Champion summer savings are here. Don't miss our best window sale. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free.
At Champion, we make buying new windows easy. Unlike some other companies, at Champion, we control every aspect of the process. We design it, we build it, we install it, and we guarantee it for life.
Keep the heat out this summer with new energy-efficient windows from Champion. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Call or go online to book your free estimate at getchampionwindows.com.
This right here is confidence in a bottle.
Not only does it change you on the outside, but something on the inside, knowing that you're looking better.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt in my life.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Well, today we're going to see one for ourselves and let you be the judge. It's called Plexiderm, and lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock, and what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes in as little as 10 minutes, no prescriptions, and very little effort. Even watching the video, this is a real it's a model, but it's a real guy with real bags underneath his eyes.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. This is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. Feels great. Looks even better.
And I did this to my father. We were at home. So we applied it to his under eye bags. And let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view. And now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. He calls me every single month saying, "Hey, Annette, I'm out of Plexiderm, please send me more." And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles. The way you want to do it is you want to have a clean, dry face. You use a small amount because it's so powerful. You have high school reunions, you have events you want to go to, you want to look years younger, this is it.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work for yourself after your first application. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
The Ashley stores of Madison are hosting the biggest warehouse liquidation sale ever, and both stores are packed with deals. Find massive savings and more. You can save more than 90% off. Everything must go at both Madison area Ashley stores.
Welcome back. NASA and SpaceX are trying to extend the life of the nearly 33-year-old Hubble Space Telescope.
The company and the space agency signed an agreement to investigate having a private mission service provide service to Hubble. SpaceX approached NASA a few months ago with the idea. It isn't certain whether or not the mission could be carried out. The agreement just to explore the technicality of the idea. After a 2-year decline, suicide rates in the U.S. rose in 2021.
Today, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported about 48,000 people died by suicide in the U.S. last year. That is nearly 1,700 more than the year before. Researchers found overall men are 4 times more likely than women to die by suicide, a gap that continued to grow last year. Suicide rates in the U.S. have been rising for decades, and they've increased 31% over the past 20 years.
Well, coins featuring King Charles III will enter circulation alongside those of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, the Royal Mint confirms. The official maker of the UK coin says the first coins bearing the effigy of His Majesty King Charles III will enter circulation in line with demand from banks and post offices. This means coins featuring King Charles and Queen Elizabeth will co-circulate for many years to come. According to the UK maker, there are approximately 27 billion coins in circulation that feature the Queen.
The Federal Reserve's preferred measure of fighting inflation shows prices surged again last month. Mortgage rates rose for the 6th week in a row. The average rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage is 6.7%, the highest since July of 2007. This latest inflation data puts more pressure on Fed Chair Jerome Powell, who has vowed to make taming inflation the central bank's overarching focus. The Federal Reserve hikes interest rates in hopes of taming inflation, which hit a 40-year high in June.
More sharp losses on Wall Street as stocks close out a brutal third quarter. All major averages have slipped into bear markets. The Dow Industrials fell 500 points, ending the week at 28,725, its worst week since March of 2020, the beginning of the pandemic. The NASDAQ was off 161 points. The S&P 500 fell 54. Well, the Badgers are back at Camp Randall tomorrow against Illinois, hoping to bounce back after a disappointing loss, to say the least, last week.
The head coach of the Fighting Illini, Brett Bielema, makes his first competitive return to Madison since leaving the UW almost a decade ago.
Jim Rutledge from ESPN Madison joins us with a preview. Welcome back, Jim. Good to see you.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Is there anything good that came out of last week's wallop by Ohio State?
Well, I guarantee they're focused this week. There's no way this team is, feeling too good about themselves and looking past an Illinois team. As far as X's and O's, we do a show with Keanu Benton, the Badgers defensive lineman. He said that team, they looked at what they did wrong. They did so many things wrong. Everything was just out of whack in that game that they have to just kind of start to correct it going forward against Illinois. But no real positive coming out of that. The only thing is, it doesn't matter if you lose to Ohio State by 2 points or 25 points. Ohio State's a tough team to beat.
How does it factor in to have Brett Bielema returning to Madison? He had a relationship with Coach Christ, Paul Christ worked for Brett, but has the relationship between Bielema and the fans softened at all since he left?
I would imagine so. If Paul Christ wins on Saturday, he'll actually tie Brett Bielema with 68 wins as the Badgers coach, and they almost have the exact same wins and loss record as the Badgers coach. And overall, their career paths at Wisconsin have been very similar. So I think that helps ease the anger or the hatred fans would have had for Bielema, because the program has been able to right itself after Gary Anderson and after Brett left to bring Gary in and then to Paul. So I think fans have calmed down, but in no way our fans going to be okay with losing to Brett Bielema. I'll tell you that for sure.
There's an extra incentive for the fans and the team, I would assume. What do you hope to see from Graham Mertz this week?
No turnovers. I think, the phrase game manager is such a, negative phrase, but it's exactly what I think the Badgers need, especially against Illinois. Give the ball to Braylon Allen. Let your playmakers make plays. Don't make a mistake. I don't need any fancy or great throws out of Graham. Just don't throw an interception. I mean, he even threw an interception in the blowout victory, 66-7. So if I'm Paul Chryst, I say, Graham, just go out there and try to play a game without a turnover, and then we'll build off of that.
And what should we be watching for with the Illini?
Brett Bielema's team's going to come in and they're going to be ready to play. They're a very good football team. They're a well-coached football team. They're bouncing back. They don't have the players and the stars that the Badgers have, but they are a team that will be well-coached. This is a team that will not be afraid of the moment. That's been a staple of Brett's teams as well. But I think this is going to be a team that resembles a lot of the Badgers. So they're going to be a Badgers-light type team, and Brett's going to come in and he's going to have them ready to play.
And the defense did not do so well against Ohio State. What can they shore up there?
Illinois is not in the same stratosphere as Ohio State, so I think that's going to be a big part of it. Otherwise, I think it was just bad assignments. Most of those guys, when we talk to some of the defenders, they didn't necessarily think that they hit all their assignments. They did what they were supposed to do. They can tackle better. They can play better, assignment football. And I think they just have to come out with that high-level energy. But I think a lot of it just had to do with being overwhelmed by what Ohio State has on the football field. And they're not going to see a team like Ohio State the rest of the year.
And there's no place like home, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Kickoff 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, an early start. Jim, thanks for being with us today.
Great to see you, Jim.
See you later. There's more to come at 4. The latest foodie trend is good news for America's Dairyland.
They're called butter boards, and they are exactly what it sounds like. We'll find out. How did we not know about this?
I don't know.
It sounds heavenly. We'll find out about butter boards coming up after Gary's weekend forecast.
It's A1 Furniture's anniversary sale with up to 43% off store-wide and 43 months free financing. Plus, get tax included on purchases over $9.99. Huge selection in stock now at A1 Furniture.
Madison's locally owned family furniture store.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection is here 24 hours a day.
7 days a week for all your residential and commercial plumbing services.
From installation, repairs, and maintenance to complete sewer and drain cleaning, we've got you covered.
Visit MononaPFP.com.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
Friends of the Middleton Performing Arts Center present their 2022-23 Community Concert Series opening the season on October 8th with the Doo-Wop Project, performing oldies and recent hits with a doo-wop twist. Tickets available now. Don't miss it.
Women are being watched, tracked through their cell phones. Tim Michaels Families Foundation funds a radical anti-abortion group that tracks the cell phone data of women who visit Planned Parenthood clinics, then tries to stop them. Michaels wants to ban abortion even when a mother's health is at risk, and he's using his wealth to track and harass women. If he's doing this now, what do you think he'd do as governor?
New Astapro Allergy, now available without a prescription. Astapro is the first and only 24-hour storage-free spray. While other allergy sprays take hours, Astapro starts working in 30 minutes. So you can Astapro and go.
Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Looking for one of our most capable Ford SUVs? Okay, great. We've got you covered. Spacious interiors, innovative tech, good looks, and a legendary off-road experience. Check out our inventory today, or let us help you place a custom order. Getting into the perfect Ford SUV? Well, it's easier than ever. Yeah, we've got you covered. Now choose FlexBuy on a 2022 Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer and get 0% financing for 66 months.
Maybelline New York's Instant Eraser. Our do-it-all concealer. Conceal. Contour. Correct. Now with up to 12-hour moisturizing wear. Instant Eraser Concealer. Maybelline New York.
A local woman's car stolen while at a dealership for repairs.
They took it off-roading.
But the dealer's insurance refuses to cover the damage.
It's crazy and it's wrong.
Leah Linscheid answers a call for action Sunday on News 3 Now at 10.
Don't miss A1 Furniture's anniversary sale. Save up to 43% off name brand mattresses and get 43 months free financing. Plus, get tax included on purchases over $9.99. Huge selection in stock now at A1 Furniture.
Madison's locally owned family furniture store.
We'll take a look at this newly listed house in Sacramento. It's turning heads. The 4-bedroom Tudor-style house has a style all of its own, courtesy of its former owner, an amateur artist whose custom brush and woodwork was inspired by famous Spanish architect Antonin Gaudí. The house was built in the 1940s, has more than 2,300 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, a basement, garage, and pool. A house with a lot of character.
Definitely.
Don't have to worry about repainting.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, finally, after 8 in a row, 2 months worth of weekends, it's going to be nice.
Yeah, temperature should be comfortable. And again, part of that is just because of what's going on down south with Ian, you know, so we're the beneficiaries. So we'll take a look at Ian and also our forecast as we head into next week. Just a few minutes.
Save Fresh Perks, it's easy to get lower than low prices for the win. You also earn fuel points on every purchase to save big at the pump. Pick and Save Fresh Perks. All you do is win big savings. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
I worked in law enforcement for more than 30 years. I know what it takes to keep our community safe. Mandela Barnes stands with Defund the Police and supports no cash bail that releases dangerous criminals back into our communities. Barnes supports sanctuary cities and spending millions of taxpayer dollars on illegal immigrants. Take it from me, the bad guys belong in jail, and Mandela Barnes belongs nowhere near the Senate.
Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We all share the same roads, but when an accident happens, we don't always share the same consequences. Big trucks can cause big damage. Injuries can be severe and may require a lifetime of care and compensation. Call Gruber Law Offices today. We can help you from the safety and comfort of your own home. Our virtual sign-up process is quick and easy. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Oh, great. My wireless bill just went up.
Should have gone with US Cellular. They aren't raising prices on any of their plans.
Seriously?
Yeah, my price won't increase.
Well, that is refreshing. I feel like everywhere you turn these days, prices are going up.
Supply chain got us too. Don't get me started on the overhead costs.
At US Cellular, every plan for everyone is price protected.
You know, I respect a female entrepreneur.
US Cellular, where every plan is price protected.
The radical left hate America and riot in our streets. They indoctrinate our children to hate America, stoking fear and envy with their lies and deceptions. Their radical woke agenda and divisive politics are tearing our country apart. Here's Mandela Barnes.
The founder of this nation, awful.
Mandela Barnes is a radical leftist. He supports their woke agenda that's causing you and your family so much pain.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
With the Pick and Save app, no matter where you order free pickup, you get the same great deals as you'd get in our stores. So start your cart today. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Oh, our weather is quiet and dry. Things a little bit different in the Carolinas. Hurricane Ian now moving inland as a strong post-tropical storm. You can see these are some of the rainfall estimates over the last couple of days. About 4 to 5 inches of rain, maybe even up to 10 inches of rain just south of Charleston, South Carolina. Most of the heaviest rain has been right along the coast. Storm starting to weaken as it moves inland. But as we take a look at the current Doppler track, you can see all the precipitation is north of the center of circulation, which is now in the eastern portion of South Carolina onshore. So that's a sign that the storm is making its transition from a tropical weather system where it gets most of its moisture from the ocean and you get rain bands all the way around the center of circulation to a more hybrid system, kind of a low pressure system, strong low pressure system that we would see over our part of the country. But additional rainfall through Monday morning, still a potential for another 4 to 5 inches of rain from North Carolina into parts of western Virginia and southern portions of West Virginia, and that could cause some flash flooding there. Right now, it is considered post-tropical storm Ian. Maximum sustained winds still at 70 miles an hour, gusts to 85 miles per hour, moving to the north at 15 miles per hour. But again, that dry air starting to erode away the southern portion of the storm, and the forecast from the National Hurricane Center weakens it and then eventually dissipates it over western portions of Virginia. But again, the rain will continue for a while longer. 3 things you need to know around here. Because of the high pressure north of Ian, our weather is going to stay pretty quiet. High temperatures will be in the middle to upper 60s all the way through next Wednesday. Dry weather, other than a slight chance of a shower next Wednesday. I don't have any rain in the forecast now for the next 10 days. But there will be a shot of colder weather later next week. High temperatures will drop back to around 50 by Friday, and widespread frost is a possibility with low temperatures in the lower 30s by early Friday and Saturday morning. Low temperatures this morning, mainly in the 30s across Wisconsin. Not quite as cold as previous nights, but still pretty chilly. Notice you don't have to go far out to the west to see temperatures about 5 to 10 degrees warmer. And on Weather Track, our winds are from the north right now. A couple of little showers across parts of Minnesota, drifting to the south. The air is still pretty dry across Wisconsin. That's because high pressure is built over the northeastern portion of the country ahead of Ian as it continues to move inland. So at this point, it looks like the quiet weather will continue for a while longer. Again, we're kind of in between weather systems, and that's a good place to be when you have a big storm on the east coast and a storm out to the west. The storm to the west, not very strong, but it is generating some showers there, and you can see across Wisconsin, right now we're looking at generally quiet conditions. So for tonight, look for a low of 42 in Middleton, 42 in Verona, and 42 in Dalyville. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, 42 in Janesville, 45 for the overnight low temperature in Monroe. Tomorrow, look for mostly sunny skies, maybe a little patchy fog early in the morning again, high at 68, and that 7 to 10 day forecast. Again, dry weather, except for a slight chance for a shower Tuesday night into Wednesday. Mild through Wednesday, but take a look at those temperatures as we head toward the end of next week. Mark, you will definitely have to cover up those tomatoes by early Friday morning with a low of 32 degrees if you want to keep them into January. Like
you know.
Well, it is October after all. So.
It is, yeah. So that'd be right about on schedule.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
Have you heard of butterboarding?
Have you heard of this before today?
No,
I never did either. But it is exactly what it sounds like. You slather a bunch of butter on a cutting board, you add some fancy toppings, and then you take a big swipe of it all with some bread.
Jeannie Mose reports on a food trend that's literally spreading.
It's a dish for those who like to butter up their guests.
Soften your butter
while riding the crest of a culinary trend.
Have you heard of a butter board? Have you heard of a butter board?
Literally boards slathered with butter and who knows what sprinkled in.
Add tons of flaky salt, tons of lemon zest, a little bit of red pepper flakes,
fresh baked strawberries, and add in some roasted garlic.
I drizzle just a little bit of honey over that chili oil.
Then everyone is supposed to dig in with their bread. The sharing part freaked out this skeptic. Looks like a board of germs and dust and a hair falling in it. But food influencer at Justine Snacks begs to differ.
I love it.
Her video whetted appetites, though she credits Joshua McFadden, who included the butter board in his 2017 book. Now it belongs to everybody.
Y'all, this is to die for.
Or die from. One critic called it a disgusting pile of coronary. When this TikToker didn't exactly devour it, someone asked, why are you chewing it like it's a piece of gum? Some are already moving on to the cream cheese board, topped with lox and capers, mopped up with a bagel. Already the butter board is starting to feel like an overloaded pizza with chunks of cured salami.
Apricot jam.
I happen to have these dried edible flowers.
Why just butter your bread when your bread can be butter boarded?
You guys, this is perfect served with a warm, crusty bread.
A warm, crusty bed is one garnish too many. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
She didn't look like she was enjoying it.
I certainly don't need it, but I love it. I think it sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. Try it. It's good for the dairy farmers, too.
No, well, that's a good spin on it.
There's the upside of that. Coming up next on Live at 4, October at the movies won't be only about horror, but AAA blockbusters and award season contenders as well.
And then coming up next hour at 5, political reporter Will Keneally gathers up all of the recent political polling around the Senate and gubernatorial races for us. He'll have the numbers coming up at 5.
At Harker Heating and Cooling, you can save a whole bunch of money when you buy a furnace. You know what's even better? Saving even more money when you purchase a furnace and an air conditioner at the same time.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
I worked on the force for 30 years. I've seen plenty of politicians, but Mandela, he's the real deal. Mandela doesn't want to defund the police. He's very supportive of law enforcement, and I know his objective is to make every community in the state of Wisconsin better. I trust him to get the resources that we need to keep people safe and to reduce crime in the first place. As a retired cop, I want someone like Mandela. Mandela is the right guy for the job.
I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Nothing beats a great night's sleep on a new Beauty Rest mattress from Steinhoffels. Right now, you can get a Beauty Rest Queen mattress for only $449, or get $200 in Steinhoffels cash when you upgrade to the redesigned Beauty Rest Black. More luxurious and comfortable than ever. And with Steinhoffels special financing, your mattress just got more affordable. Isn't it time you got a great night's sleep? Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
Raising healthy children takes a village, and kids thrive when their village is healthy too.
SSM Health and News 3 Now are helping you unlock a healthier world with our Time for Kids Keys to Health campaign. We'll show you how sustainable choices create healthier lifestyles, explore the impacts of food security on families,
and share ways we can help build a healthy community together. So join us on air, online, and in your village.
And take time for kids.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
At Harker Heating and Cooling, you can save a whole bunch of money when you buy a furnace. You know what's even better? Saving even more money when you purchase a furnace and an air conditioner at the same time.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
New at 5, we have exclusive interviews with the close race candidates for Attorney General. News 3 Now asks the election questions you want answers to.
It looks like we should see a very nice early fall weekend with plenty of sunshine, comfortable temperatures, and most importantly, dry weather. Much cooler weather will arrive later next week. I'll let you know how mild it'll be this weekend at 5.
And ahead at 6, during a critical time in Florida, Wisconsin residents are stepping up to help. We discover how the Red Cross is making every drop count tonight at 6.
Giving the weather satellite a spin.
Got a couple bugs on this St. Louis camera.
It's bugs and not birds.
Right.
Just wanted to give it a little break from all the hurricane flooding and everything. Just a nice, serene shot for a Friday.
It's a beautiful
What's
shot.
the temp there? 74 degrees in St. Louis. Well, the month of October will bring horror, a Dwayne Johnson blockbuster, and award season contenders to theaters.
Rick Damigella gives us a preview of some of October's biggest movie titles.
So, 2 soldiers and a nurse found ourselves in
Amsterdam.
Margot Robbie, John David Washington, and Christian Bale lead an all-star cast in Amsterdam. Set during the 1930s, the mystery comedy from writer-director David O. Russell opens in theaters October 7th.
I was certain that I saw him watching me.
You pretend like you moved on, but you're actually just obsessed with death.
October is high season for horror films, and one of the biggest horror movie franchises reaches a climax with Halloween Ends. Michael Myers simultaneously creeps into theaters and onto the Peacock streaming service October 14th.
Black Adam, we're here to negotiate your peaceful surrender.
Heard about at least 3 killings this afternoon.
not peaceful.
Dwayne Johnson stars as the all-powerful anti-hero Black Adam. The blockbuster action flick also features the superheroics of Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate and Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. Black Adam soars into theaters October 21st.
The lynching of my son has shown me that what happens to any of us, anywhere in the world, had better be the business of us all.
Till stars Danielle Deadweiler as the mother of Emmett Till, the black teenager who was tortured and murdered in Mississippi in 1955. After screening in select theaters earlier in the month, Till opens nationwide October 28th. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Can I at least just...
And speaking of Hollywood, the iconic Hollywood sign in Los Angeles is getting a major makeover. Crews have already washed it, knocked off all the rust. Now they're in the process of slapping on a fresh new coat of paint. The makeover is right on time. The paint lasts roughly 10 years, and the sign was last painted in 2012. The paint mix being used is called Hollywood Sign Centennial White. That moniker in honor of the sign's centennial celebration in 2023. It should be done by mid-October, and I think a facelift in Hollywood is nothing new.
Right, exactly.
Well, Hurricane Ian is one for the record books, one of the strongest storms since records have been kept.
So how did the hurricane get so big so fast? We'll talk with a UW research scientist about Ian and if this is a trend when Live at 4 continues.
It's the Portage Furniture Store's anniversary sale on now with a huge in-stock inventory of top brands for every room in your home with Certa-Queen mattresses from $2.99 and always free delivery. The Portage Furniture Store's anniversary sale. Don't miss it.
My husband said to give our house more curb appeal, so I started painting. Then I went on Google and looked up the meaning of curb appeal. It said to make it more nicer. So I called Replacement Window Center, and they put in new replacement windows.
Get free installation and 0% financing for 18 months. Free installation and 0% financing. Hurry, call now.
Replacement Window Center. Our name says it all.
There's a reason big dental bills often come as a shock, because sometimes you don't realize what's not covered until you get the bill. That's why affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual is important. It can give you benefits that go beyond what you get from more limited coverage plans. Because no one likes a big dental bill, especially if you're retired or on a fixed income. For a free information kit, call or go online now. This isn't some discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps cover over 350 procedures, like cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures, at any dentist you want. Dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company helps cover preventive care, basic work, and major procedures, with no deductibles and no annual maximum. For your free information kit with all the details, call now or visit sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
New Astapro Allergy, now available without a prescription. Astapro is the first and only 24-hour storage-free spray. While other allergy sprays take hours, Astapro starts working in 30 minutes. So you can Astapro and go.
The radical left hate America and riot in our streets. They indoctrinate our children to hate America, stoking fear and envy with their lies and deceptions. Their radical woke agenda and divisive politics are tearing our country apart. Here's Mandela Barnes.
The founder of this nation, awful.
Mandela Barnes is a radical leftist. He supports their woke agenda that's causing you and your family so much pain.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
It's our biggest sale of the year. Get back to your health and fitness goals by joining Anytime Fitness for just $1 now through October 7th. Let us help you turn no I can't into yes I can. Now through October 7th, join Anytime Fitness for just $1. Hurry in today.
It's the Portage Furniture Store's anniversary sale on now with a huge in-stock inventory of top brands for every room in your home with Lazy Boy recliners from $3.99 and always free delivery. The Portage Furniture Store's anniversary sale. Don't miss it.
Well, as you check out First Warrant traffic, here's the live view of the DOT camera of the Beltline at Monona Drive. Traffic on the eastbound side moving much steadier than it was earlier today. Still a little bit of a slowdown back to around John Nolan Drive, and a slowdown as the flex lane ends around Stoughton Road. Otherwise, traffic moving pretty steadily in both directions of the Beltline, about a 15 to 20 minute trip either way between University Avenue and the interstate. Heading out of Madison, no problems on I-3990 from the Beltline southward to Janesville, but Middleton to Sauk City on US 12, a little elevated time there, about 22 minutes. Downtown to Sun Prairie, East Washington Avenue and US 151 takes you 17 minutes. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
Gary, thank you. Fans of the movie Hocus Pocus can stay at the Sanderson Sisters Cottage this Halloween season. The creepy abode located in the remote woods of Salem, Massachusetts, is available on Airbnb. It was recreated in honor of the new movie, which starts streaming today on Disney+. Guests can try their hands at enchantments from the Sister Spellbook, but it likely won't turn anyone into a cat. 2 guests can stay at the cottage for an exclusive stay on October 20th for just $31. The listing opens on Airbnb on October 12th at noon. So it's a movie set, essentially.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you don't need to be in Florida to understand the danger Ian has been bringing to everyone in its path.
There is actually a term for what we saw with Hurricane Ian before it made landfall. It's called rapid intensification.
So how did Ian get so bad so fast? Sarah Griffin is a research scientist and meteorologist at the Institute for Meteorological Satellite Studies at UW-Madison. Welcome to Live at 4.
Hi, Sarah. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So what events led to this storm getting so strong so fast?
So there were a couple events that led to Ian getting so strong. So actually, when Ian first developed, it wasn't very strong at all. It was maintained a tropical storm strength, which meant it has wind speeds that were less than 74 miles per hour. And that was because, A, it was very close to the South American coast, so it was getting like land interaction. It wasn't able to organize. But more importantly, is if you remember, we had Hurricane Fiona, which struck Puerto Rico and then struck Canada. Hurricane Fiona had a lot of outflow, and so pretty much a hurricane is, in, up, and then out. And so as Hurricane Fiona was, like the air was going out of Fiona, it was heading south and it was impacting Ian. So like for the first 2 days or so, Ian didn't really develop, but once Fiona moved up towards Canada, was no longer impacting Ian, there was really nothing that could stop Ian from developing. There was very little wind shear, and also more importantly, there was very, very warm waters. The Gulf right now, based on like a 30-year average, is a couple degrees warmer than average. And you say a couple degrees, like that's not a lot, but when we're talking in terms of Celsius, so like average is 28 degrees Celsius, and now we're talking 30 degrees Celsius. So that's a big difference.
And that's the fuel.
Yeah, and that's what fueled it. It had warm waters for fuel, and there wasn't any reason to, there wasn't anything to stop it from intensifying. We usually look at dry air. There wasn't any of that around. We look at wind shear. Wind shear is a change of the wind with height, speed, and direction. Hurricanes like to be straight upright. If you imagine someone pushing from the top, they don't want to fall over.
So the perfect storm, as it were.
Well, it's something in Wisconsin, obviously, we don't experience. So help us understand how catastrophic this storm was. Do you think the way we're describing it is hyperbole, or do you think it's accurate that this was unique in several ways?
Unfortunately, I don't think it was unique, because this is the 5th or 6th Category 4 or 5 hurricane that's made landfall in the U.S. I mean, a way probably to describe it, though, is imagine if you're laying a very strong thunderstorm in the middle of a lake. That's pretty much what it is, because the highest wind speeds are near the eye, and so that's where the strongest winds are. But even if you're not outside of the eye, like Ian was a very big storm, so there was tropical storm force winds that extended far out, and that's below 74 miles per hour. So 70 miles per hour is a tropical storm force. And then you had to deal with the storm surge. In some places that was 12 feet. So it'd be like, but you don't have a boat because you're on land, and it'd pretty much be like being outside in a thunderstorm in a very intense squall line while you're in the middle of a lake.
That's a good way to describe it, because people can imagine what that would be like.
And the water's getting warmer, the air is getting warmer, can hold more water. Are we going to see more of these types of storms, do you think?
There was actually a study that I was just looking before even coming here. They did an analysis from from 1980 to 2019. And it did say in there that the number of storms hitting the U.S. hasn't really increased. But the number of these Category 3 plus storms, Category 3, Category 4, Category 5, are actually on the increase. Some of that could just be we have better satellites and we can estimate them better, but Starting from like 1980, when we've had constant geostationary satellites, we've had ways to identify the intensity of these storms. It does seem like that, yeah, they're definitely on the increase.
It must be fascinating as a scientist to see this storm develop and kind of understand.
I mean, it's fascinating, but it's terrifying.
It's devastating,
yeah.
right? But it.
Yeah, I remember before the season started, I was talking with some of my friends, and I said, I want a year of a bunch of Hurricane Sams. Hurricane Sam was a hurricane last year, reached Category 4, and it just stayed out in the Atlantic all the time. Yeah. And that was a nice storm because I got to test, we got to test algorithms, we got to see it, develop, but it didn't hurt anyone. And so it's hard being a meteorologist because you're like, this is really cool, but I know it's going to hurt a lot of people, and so it's two-sided.
And we still have a month to go in the hurricane season.
Yeah,
so
we do.
It may not be over yet. Sarah, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Interesting stuff. And a lot of research, satellite research is being done right here in Madison.
And I don't know if you can see them, but she has hurricane earrings on that she made herself. They're very cool. Dennis, can you zoom in on those? I don't know if you... Aren't those neat?
The eye of the storm.
The eye of the storm.
Sarah, thanks again.
Great to see you, Sarah.
Have a
Thank
good
you so
weekend.
much.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll have a final check of our forecast coming up.
It's Furniture and Appliance Mart's scratch-off promotion. Come in for your scratch card worth up to $5,000. Plus, buy any LG washer and get the dryer free. Plus, 60-month special financing. Plus, fast delivery at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley off the Beltline in East Springs Drive.
It all comes down to the final drive. News 3 Now brings you the big play highlights and scores from Southern Wisconsin high school football action. Don't miss the final drive. Fridays on News 3 Now at 10.
Champion summer savings are here. Don't miss our best window sale. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free.
At Champion, we make buying new windows easy. Unlike some other companies, at Champion, we control every aspect of the process. We design it, we build it, we install it, and we guarantee it for life.
Keep the heat out this summer with new energy-efficient windows from Champion. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Call or go online to book your free estimate at getchampionwindows.com.
Ron Johnson's at it again, lying about my taxes. Let's be clear, my taxes are paid in full, but there were times I was getting by on peanut butter sandwiches. And that's why I support a tax cut for the middle class. Put more money in your pockets, because I know how hard you work. But Johnson used his Senate seat to write a loophole that gave huge tax cuts to himself and his biggest donors, leaving us with crumbs. And that's how we get left behind. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
The Ashley stores of Madison are hosting the biggest warehouse liquidation sale ever, and both stores are packed with deals. Find massive savings and more. You can save more than 90% off. Everything must go at both Madison area Ashley stores.
Before the battle in November, News 3 Now sits down with leading candidates in the Attorney General race to ask the tough questions. And the Cottage Grove community rallies behind the family of a firefighter. We'll share his story coming up at 5.
A family that fled their native Ukraine.
We are at our new home in the United States.
Susan Simon shows you how they've built a new life here thanks to the generosity of a Madison congregation.
We'll do our best to make it home now.
Monday on News 3 Now at 10.
There's live view from the WISC-TV Skycam. Clear skies here. Lots of sunshine from the Platteville Queen Bee Radio Skycam. Temperatures right now, upper 60s in Madison, 68 in Madison, 69 Middleton, 68 degrees in Belleville, and 70 in Edgerton. Look for mostly clear skies this evening. Temperatures falling to the lower 50s by 10 p.m.
All right, Gary, thank you. Monday here on Live at 4, film critic Will Loper has the weekend box office numbers and suggestions on what to watch.
And we'll go behind the wheel of the 2022. Look at that thing, Mark.
It was a lot of fun.
The Jaguar F-Type convertible. And of course, it has to be red.
Absolutely.
That's coming up Monday on Live at 4.
Welcome to Dwellings.
Shop our fabulous showroom, Hard Rock Road, Fitchburg.
Hypnotize your way to savings.
Breathing techniques to help you save.
Looking to make saving a habit?
Yeah, what's the secret?
No secret. Just open a savings account at BMO and we'll give you a cash reward for every month you save.
A cash reward? Just for saving?
Mm-hmm. And when you open a checking account, we'll give you a $300 bonus to get your new savings habit started.
Love that.
What's your book? How to get a $300 bonus and a monthly cash reward for saving with BMO.
He literally wrote the book on saving.
That's me on the cover.
When a bank helps you make real financial progress, that's the BMO effect.
He has his grandfather's smile.
Her mother's eyes.
My cheekbones.
But will she have my diabetes?
My sickle cell anemia.
His father's heart disease?
Go to joinallofus.org to share your health information and speed up health research breakthroughs. The future of health begins with you.
Everything seems to be getting more and more expensive these days. And it's the same for your heating bills. Since it will cost more to heat your home this winter, USA Insulation wants to give you control over your utility bills. Our premium injection foam keeps the cold outside and your warm, comfortable air inside, right where it belongs. Call now before winter and get a $500 early bird discount.
USA Insulation.
Get into the spirits with Madison Magazine. Scare up area ghosts and haunts. Visit the local suppliers of Hollywood's ghoulish props and learn the dark history of campus discrimination. Madison Magazine, online and on newsstands now.
Want to know right now what the weather will be like tomorrow? Download the First Warn Weather app and you'll get my customized forecast for tonight and tomorrow.
The First Warn Weather app. Get it now. Powered by News 3 Now.
Welcome to Dwellings.
Shop our fabulous showroom, Hard Rock Road, Fitchburg.
It's a big weekend in the News Hounds World Headquarters. Correspondent Oliver has a birthday. I can't believe he's 2. Turns 2 on Sunday.
They grow up so fast.
They do.
So before the party begins, Louie and Ollie filed this week's edition of the News Hounds.
Here's the News Hounds, Louie and Oliver, with their World News Roundup.
This week on the News Hounds, it's that time of the year.
An elephant gets a name.
And butterflies fly free.
But first, every day at the Adelaide Zoo in South Australia, the local little penguins colony is called out to be fed. And some are a bit slower than others to get their daily fish, like Gordon. Gordon has a good excuse to lag behind. He's a bit older than the rest of the gang. At almost 21, Gordon is the oldest species of his kind in the world. The cataracts and arthritis don't prevent him from having a very active life. In fact, he's still fathering chicks, and his offspring can be found in zoos around the world. Gordon doesn't seem to want to retire or slow down in his role as a father. In fact, he's raising one right now. You go, Gordon.
As the National Day holiday is approaching in China, 50,000 butterflies were released at the Shanghai Zoo. 30 kinds of butterflies, all of which are domestically bred, and quite a few of them local butterflies in Shanghai. At the same time, the newly built carnivorous baby kindergarten in the tiger and lion area welcomed the first group of babies. There are 3-month-old puma cubs and tiger cubs, which are 2 and 4 months old, respectively.
A couple of weeks ago, we reported on the birth of a baby elephant at a zoo in England. Well, she now has a name. The calf is called Nangpaya, which is the Thai word for queen. She was named, of course, in honor of England's late Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth once met the calf's mom, Donna, when she opened the Zoo Center for Elephant Care in 2017.
And finally, they rang in the pumpkin spice season at the Oregon Zoo. It's a celebration of fall for a menagerie of furry friends. Otters, red pandas, elephants, and more having a ball, eating and playing with pumpkins. Workers dropped off fall's favorite fruit at several of the habitats in the zoo. Just another sign that fall is here, a time to savor.
And that's this week's edition of the News Hounds Now Update.
It's pumpkin time, Susan.
Yes, it is.
Happy birthday to Oliver. We'll see you back here on Monday. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.